11 Most Mysterious and Creepiest Ancient Tombs Discovered by Archaeologists. Hello, welcome to the Ancient History Channel, the place where we explore the deepest mysteries of the past together. Today, I'll take you on a chilling yet fascinating journey, revealing 11 of the most mysterious ancient tombs ever excavated by archaeologists. Have you ever heard of tombs that are not only resting places for the dead, but also hold strange stories and whispered secrets of history never told? From the tomb of the underground dancing girls, where 20 coffins seem to sway as if coming back to life, to the tomb of a forgotten king, where past and present eerily intertwine. There's also the tomb of the 6 wives of a prince, with haunting death rituals spanning over 1,500 years, and a tomb filled with priceless treasures belonging to a French prince who once shocked the world. But that's not all. Over the years, archaeologists have made countless discoveries of ancient tombs, some mysterious, some eerie, and some heartbreaking. So, are you curious to know which tombs these are and the chilling secrets hidden behind them? If so, let's explore them right now together. The Tomb of the Dancing Girls. Floating underground, 20 swaying coffins and the mysterious forgotten king. Have you ever imagined that deep underground in complete darkness, there exists a strange chamber where 20 coffins quietly float on the water as if guided by some unseen spirit? Sounds like a horror movie, right? But this is 100% true, based on a shocking discovery made in Wuhan, China in 1978. At that time, the Chinese Air Force was building a radar repair factory. While heavy machinery was digging noisily, a large stone slab suddenly appeared, buried deep underground, with no signs of modern concrete or metal. Upon closer inspection, they found it was a solid stone door leading down to a place no one had set foot in for thousands of years. Construction was immediately halted. Archaeologists from the Hubei Provincial Museum were called in. After careful efforts, they managed to open the door, and the whole team fell silent. A dimly lit chamber appeared. The water was nearly knee-deep, and floating in the middle were 20 wooden coffins drifting gently. But what gave everyone chills was not the number, but the fact that these coffins were actually moving, slowly and softly, as if something inside was waking up. Some panicked, others just stared in disbelief. Once calm was restored, they realized the water inside was the reason the coffins floated and swayed. There were no ghosts, just geological forces at work. It's believed this tomb was affected by an earthquake or a massive flood that broke underground water channels, submerging the entire burial site in groundwater for hundreds of years. Soon after, the water was drained to protect the precious artifacts. When the coffins were lifted, an even stranger fact was uncovered. All 20 skeletons belonged to young girls, aged only 13 to 16. These girls were not buried alone. They were interred with gold, jade, musical instruments, chariots, weapons, and a variety of exquisite items. The most remarkable find was a set of 65 bronze bells weighing a staggering 5,660 pounds, considered the largest and most complete bronze bell set ever excavated in China. Truly a national treasure, these bells were not just ornamental, but also symbols of the wealth, power, and mystery surrounding the tomb's occupant. Based on their clothing and the accompanying items, researchers believe these girls were court dancers. They were chosen to accompany and serve their master even after death, continuing to perform songs and dances as they did in life. But one question remains. Who had the authority to take 20 young girls down to the tomb like this? While experts were still trying to piece this together, another coffin was uncovered on the east side of the burial site. Inside was the skeleton of a man about 5 feet 4 inches tall, buried in an exquisitely lacquered coffin. According to the inscriptions, he was identified as Zheng Hao Yi, the king of the state of Zheng, a vassal of the Zhou dynasty during the Warring States period. He died in 433 BC. Upon hearing of his death, King Hui of Chu ordered the casting of the massive bronze bell set and buried it in this tomb as a symbol of respect and honor. This tomb, with its precious artifacts and hidden historical stories, is not only an impressive archaeological discovery, but also opens a window to the past, helping us better understand the lives, beliefs, and rituals of ancient people. And that, my friends, is no exaggeration. The Tomb of the 6 Wives of a Prince, Deadly Rituals and Whispers from 1,500 years ago. In the heart of modern-day Germany, amid construction sites seemingly filled only with concrete and steel, a thousand-year-old mystery suddenly emerged, and this time, it was unlike anything archaeologists had ever seen before. Specifically, during the excavation for the foundation of a large chicken farm in Sachsen-Anhalt near Brückenhochpfäffel, Germany, a surprising discovery shook the archaeological community. An ancient tomb with a strange, eerie, and deeply mysterious structure located at the center of an ancient cemetery. At the very center of this tomb lay 6 women arranged in a circle around a strange cauldron, as if part of a forgotten ritual whispering a tragic story from 1,500 years ago. This tomb is unlike any other ever excavated. Its unique circular structure, the solemn central position within the cemetery, and the luxurious artifacts found inside led archaeologists to believe this is the final resting place of a prince or a powerful lord in ancient society. Yet paradoxically, the body of this nobleman has not yet been found. Meanwhile, the 6 women lying around the cauldron are the most mysterious figures. Who were they? Why were they placed there? And what happened in their final moments? 2 theories have been proposed, both chilling to consider. The first suggests they were loyal wives, chosen to die alongside their noble husband, a brutal ritual found in many ancient cultures. The other, more horrifying possibility is that they were not wives at all, but young women sacrificed to serve a dark and obsessive religious ritual never recorded in history. Whichever theory is true, the truth remains buried with these skeletons, and archaeologists have yet to draw any final conclusions. The cauldron at the center of the tomb adds even more intrigue. It was placed with reverence as a sacred object, yet it was completely empty. No ashes, no bones, no artifacts inside. So what was its true purpose? Was it a symbol of a lost ritual, or a mysterious altar for the spirits of the deceased? No one knows for sure, but clearly it is a crucial piece in this strange story. Not only humans were buried here, 11 animal species were also interred in the tomb, including dogs, horses, and livestock. Evidence shows these animals were not killed in sacrificial rituals, but died beforehand, then were carefully placed in the tomb as part of a ceremony honoring the dead. This detail adds to the sacred and mysterious atmosphere surrounding the site. The burial goods found are truly a treasure trove. Gold, silver, glass, ceramics, all exquisitely crafted, reflecting immense wealth and power. Particularly, the glass shards revealed the tomb's real age, about 1,500 years old, originating from Gallo-Roman workshops along the Rhine River, a region once famous for its glass-making art in the ancient world. Even more surprising, the entire tomb has never been looted, partly thanks to its location in a lowland area where time layered a sediment deposit over 4 feet thick, accidentally creating a shield that protected it perfectly from grave robbers' greedy eyes. Because of this, the main tomb remains intact, a time machine that takes us back into the past. And most notably, other graves in the cemetery are arranged in a circle around this central tomb, as if all were bowing to the deceased, even though he may still be missing from his own land. A symbol of absolute respect, or perhaps fear of a power too great while alive. From a simple chicken farm construction project, archaeologists stepped into an ancient story, where the boundaries between power, death, and ritual blur over time. The tomb in Sachsen-Anhalt is not just an archaeological discovery, it is a reminder. History never truly falls silent, it is only waiting to be heard. The tomb filled with treasures of a French prince. At the end of 2024, archaeologists conducted a significant excavation in the town of Lavaux, located in the Champagne region of France, and uncovered a treasure-filled tomb of a Celtic prince from the Iron Age. This tomb, situated in a suburban trading area, contained many valuable artifacts, mostly originating from Greece and Etruria. What makes this discovery especially remarkable is that the Celtic prince was buried alongside his chariot inside a burial mound approximately 131 feet in diameter. The excavation was carried out by a team of experts from the French National Institute for Preventive Archaeological Research, INRAP, starting in October of the previous year. Scientists have dated the tomb to around the 5th century BC during the Late Iron Age, a period characterized by the use of iron tools. According to research reports, the centerpiece of the tomb is a 150 square feet burial chamber reserved for a member of ancient royalty, the native Celtic prince himself. One of the most notable finds in the tomb was a large bronze cauldron that had been used for holding wine, crafted by Etruscan artisans from what is now Italy. This cauldron is intricately decorated with 4 round handles engraved with the head of the Greek river god Achilles, featuring bull horns and wild ox ears, as well as lioness heads at the corners. Additionally, the archaeological team discovered a Greek ceramic vase decorated with images of Dionysus, the god of wine, and a perforated silver spoon, possibly used for straining wine. This find provides clear evidence of trade connections between the Celts and Mediterranean cultures. During this period, Mediterranean merchants expanded their commercial relationships with the Celts, trading slaves, metals, and valuable goods. Similar artifacts have been found in other tombs in Germany, such as Heuneberg and Hochdorf, indicating strong cultural exchange during the Iron Age. Archaeologists further noted that the excavation of the Celtic prince's tomb is expected to be completed by the end of the month and will undoubtedly continue to shed light on the life and relationships among ancient civilizations. The impenetrable underwater tomb in China. Even Emperor Qin Shi Huang had to throw in the towel. In Chinese history, there is a tomb that remains one of the greatest mysteries to this day, completely inaccessible to anyone. This is the tomb of King Helu, the famous ruler of the state of Wu. Despite many attempts, including those by some of the most powerful figures in history, King Helu's tomb has remained impenetrable. Even Emperor Qin Shi Huang, known as the Great Emperor with boundless ambition, was left disappointed when he couldn't find a way inside. King Helu's tomb was built over 2,500 years ago during the Zhou dynasty when he ruled. He was not only renowned for his military talents, but also for his special interest in martial arts and warfare. When he died, his son Fu Chai constructed a grand tomb for his father at Hukou, Suzhou, China, which required millions of laborers and vast resources to complete. The tomb was said to contain not only precious gold and silver treasures, but also thousands of valuable swords, a vast arsenal of weapons. According to the ancient Chinese text Yuezhui Shu, Helu's tomb contained as many as 3,000 treasured swords. However, this number remains an estimate, as the tomb has never been excavated. This has made it a powerful magnet for tomb raiders and archaeologists alike throughout history. Records show that the first person who attempted to excavate King Helu's tomb was King Gujian of Yue, the very ruler who caused the downfall of the state of Wu. Yet, despite his efforts, Gujian was unable to pinpoint the tomb's location. Later, during the final years of the Warring States period, Emperor Qin Shi Huang, the legendary first emperor of the Qin dynasty, also tried to seize this opportunity. He dispatched troops to Hukou, but despite thorough preparations, he could not find an entrance to the tomb. With all his power and ambition, Qin Shi Huang had to retreat empty-handed. But the story of this tomb did not end there. After Qin Shi Huang's failure, Shang Yu, the famed hero of the anti-Qin resistance, also attempted to access King Helu's tomb to find its treasures. Like Qin Shi Huang, Shang Yu could not discover a way inside. The mystery deepened during the Ming dynasty when the famous historical figure Tang Bohu nearly exposed the tomb once again. During a drought in Suzhou, the water in the lake surrounding the tomb receded, revealing signs of the tomb's location. Tang Bohu immediately ordered preparations for excavation, but local officials stopped the effort at the last minute. In 1955, a team of archaeologists drained the lake using machinery and uncovered inscriptions left by Tang Bohu and other historical figures. However, concerned about preserving the relics, they decided not to proceed with the excavation. Then, in 1978, archaeologists made another attempt to approach King Helu's tomb. This time, they discovered a triangular-shaped cave entrance, but when they tried to break through, they found 3 massive stone slabs blocking the way. Remarkably, these stones were positioned right above Hukou Tower, an important symbol of Suzhou. After careful consideration, experts chose not to continue, as removing the stones could damage Hukou Tower. To this day, King Helu's tomb remains intact and has never been fully excavated. It is one of the greatest mysteries in Chinese archaeological history. Despite numerous attempts, no one has been able to find a way into this legendary tomb. As a result, King Helu's tomb remains a source of great regret for archaeologists and stands as a testament to the power and mystery of ancient tombs in China's history. The tomb of Princess Yongtai, the most beautiful princess of the Tang dynasty and her untold tragic story. When we think of China's Tang dynasty history, we often picture emperors and empresses wielding magnificent power and glory. But few realize that behind this splendor lie lives full of tears and mysteries yet to be unraveled. One such story that has made archaeologists and historians pause and reflect is the tomb of Princess Yongtai, the most beautiful princess of the Tang dynasty, whose end was nothing short of tragic. The story begins in the winter of 1958 in Liangshan County, Shanxi Province, when a group of farmers accidentally discovered Qianling Tomb, the burial site of Emperor Gaozong of Tang, Li Ji, and Empress Wu Zetian. This is one of China's 3 mysterious tombs still off-limits for excavation. Yet, this accidental find led archaeologists to uncover a series of other tombs belonging to members of the Tang royal family. Among these, the most notable was the tomb of Princess Yongtai, the 7th daughter of Emperor Zhongzong of Tang, Li Xian, and Empress Wei, and also the granddaughter of Wu Zetian. What stunned archaeologists was not only the breathtaking beauty of the artifacts found, but also the sudden appearance of a mysterious figure behind the stone door of the tomb. At first, everyone was bewildered, thinking it was some strange image. But upon closer inspection, they realized it was the skeletal remains of a man, a tomb robber. The story became even more thrilling when investigations revealed that this man was part of a group of grave robbers who had a conflict, leading to one member being killed and left right at the tomb's entrance. Deeper inside, the tomb structure astonished everyone. The rooms were meticulously built with multiple layers of solid protection designed to preserve the precious burial goods. Remarkably, the brick walls of the tomb remained intact after thousands of years, enhancing its archaeological value. Finally, at the deepest point in the tomb, they found the stone coffin containing Princess Yongtai's remains. However, the stone slab covering the coffin had been shifted, and traces of mud indicated that the tomb had been violated by robbers, clear evidence of an event that occurred centuries ago. As for Princess Yongtai's life, it was tragically short. Born into royalty and raised with the love of Empress Wu Zetian, she was considered one of the most beautiful women of the Tang era. But her happiness was brief. After marrying Prince Wei Di Yan, their peaceful life was shattered by palace intrigue and power struggles. The cause of their downfall was a story of political scheming. The princess and her husband dared to discuss Zhang Yi, a favored official of Wu Zetian. When this news reached the powerful empress, the inevitable sentence was death for both. Princess Yongtai died at just 17 years old, her career and happiness still unfinished. Imagine, a beautiful, intelligent princess meeting such a tragic fate. Could her story be the cruelest among the many tales of imperial dynasties? And the tomb, full of mysteries with the lingering presence of the robbers' remains left behind, stands as a cold reminder of a turbulent and scheming era within the palace walls. As for me, whatever the answer may be, this story not only helps us better understand history, but also teaches us about the shadows behind the shining glory of the imperial court, the mysteries of dynasties that belong solely to the ancient past. The Noble Tomb, beneath a burial well in Egypt. If you think the mysteries of ancient Egypt have mostly been uncovered, this story will make you think twice. In a dry, dusty land called El Gorefa, an area that has witnessed many groundbreaking excavations, archaeologists have just revealed an incredible discovery: an ancient tomb of an Egyptian noble family, buried deep underground beneath a mysterious burial well. What makes this find timelessly valuable is not just its age or ancient beauty, but a shocking fact: the tomb remains intact, untouched for over 2,500 years. You heard that right, a perfectly preserved Egyptian tomb, never looted or destroyed by time or humans. It's truly a living treasure for archaeology. According to Mostafa Waziri, Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, the well, which is nearly 33 feet deep, is not just an entrance, but also the key to a large burial chamber carved into solid rock. When archaeologists began excavating, they were amazed to find the entrance sealed with ancient mortar, the very kind used by the ancient Egyptians over 2 millennia ago. Behind that mortar lay a sacred, silent, and solemn space. One of the first coffins identified belonged to Badi Aset, who held the title of Royal Treasury Overseer, a position in charge of the entire kingdom's wealth and financial power. In other words, he was one of the most powerful men in ancient Egypt, second only to the pharaoh. But that's not all. Beside him were 4 other large coffins, believed to be those of family members. None had been opened yet, but early assessments suggest they may contain perfectly preserved mummies since the seals remain unbroken. However, what truly took the world's breath away was not just the coffins, but the burial goods found inside the chamber. There were 2 exquisite limestone statues, one depicting the sacred Apis bull, a symbol of strength and prosperity, and the other a goddess whose identity is uncertain, possibly Isis or Hathor, both symbols associated with protection and motherhood. Additionally, archaeologists uncovered canopic jars used to store the mummy's internal organs, engraved with the images of the 4 sons of Horus. Remarkably, these jars are considered the most beautiful ever found in Egypt. But it doesn't stop there. Inside the tomb were nearly 1,000 small Ushabti figurines, tin-glazed ceramic servant statues believed in ancient Egyptian faith to serve their owner in the afterlife. Each statue is a meticulously crafted work of art, reflecting the family's wealth and high status. Moreover, many finely crafted amulets and ancient ceramic items were found, ranging from household utensils to kitchenware, each holding priceless artistic and historical value. El Gorefa, a land that seemed to have told all its stories, speaks again, as if to remind us that much of the past remains undiscovered. According to Egypt's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, this area still holds dozens of unexcavated tombs, possibly including more noble burials and even royal tombs. The tomb and the terrifying curse tablet. Have you ever imagined that beneath the ground of an old hospital in the heart of France lies a mysterious cemetery dating back to Roman times? And within that silent earth, there are curse tablets, thin lead charms inscribed in a language that has vanished from the world? What I'm referring to is one of the most unusual archaeological discoveries of this year, where thousands of years of history suddenly came alive beneath a seemingly unrelated structure. The 18th century hospital in Orléans, about 75 miles southwest of Paris. During the hospital's restoration, archaeologists unexpectedly uncovered more than 60 graves along an ancient wall. The coffins, made of painted wood, still retain faint traces of color despite the passage of time, with no signs of cremation. This led experts to believe it was not an ordinary cemetery. According to the Orleans Archaeological Service, the group buried here likely belonged to a specific social class or shared a common occupation. But that wasn't the strangest part. Inside 21 of these graves, archaeologists found something completely unexpected. 21 curse tablets, also known as deficciones. These are thin sheets of lead, about the size of a palm, inscribed with text, rolled up, pierced with nails, and buried with the dead. However, they were not mere burial objects. In the ancient Roman world, these tablets were used to communicate with the gods, asking the divine to punish enemies or grant favors to the owner. Each tablet carried a curse, a plea, or a grievance sent to the afterlife. One grave in particular drew special attention. A man buried with a curse tablet placed between his legs, alongside a broken jar and some coins, a ritual likely meant to escort the soul to the other world. After discovery, the tablet was sent to the restoration lab where experts used reflectance transformation imaging, RTI, a modern technology that creates sharp images from eroded surfaces. And then, a miracle happened. On that tablet, researchers uncovered an inscription in Gaulish, a branch of the Celtic language completely extinct today. In fact, after the Roman Empire conquered this land, Gaulish was still spoken by locals in everyday life, but rarely written down. That makes each surviving line of text a linguistic treasure for modern scholars. Imagine a person living 2,000 years ago in despair, writing their last words in a native language slowly disappearing, inscribing them on a fragile lead sheet, then burying it with their death, a message to the gods, or perhaps a warning to future generations. This discovery not only provides crucial clues about the Gaulish language, but also offers a new perspective on the spiritual life and beliefs of local people under Roman rule. They were not simply assimilated, they quietly preserved their identity and language through silent rituals like this. The excavation in Orléans is expected to conclude by the end of this month. All artifacts, from curse tablets and coins to pottery shards and coffin dust, will undergo detailed laboratory analysis. Scientists hope this will help decode more mysteries surrounding the cursed individuals and the true story hidden beneath the quiet earth. A cemetery buried for millennia. curses written in a vanished language, secrets buried deep underground, now slowly being revealed. Have we truly understood the past, or have we only scratched the surface of a deeper iceberg? That remains a puzzling question, still unanswered, but hopefully, future research will bring breakthroughs to deepen our knowledge of that distant history. The Tomb of King Tutankhamun, the mystery and curse of Egypt's young immortal king. Have you ever heard the story of a young king who ascended the throne at only 9 years old, leaving behind a priceless treasure and a curse that shocked the world? That king is Tutankhamun, the greatest pharaoh of ancient Egypt, whose name and tomb have become legendary, not just because of the wealth found within, but also due to the mysteries surrounding them. In 1922, archaeologist Howard Carter, after 6 years of tireless searching, discovered King Tutankhamun's tomb in the Valley of the Kings, near today's city of Luxor, Egypt. Can you imagine Carter's feelings when the tomb's door was finally opened and the treasure inside was revealed? It goes without saying how overjoyed he was. This was one of the greatest and most extraordinary archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. But glory was not the only thing he faced. There was also the price of mysterious rumors of a curse. Immediately after the tomb was opened, a snake killed Carter's beloved pet canary, a sign that the locals and Egyptian staff believed to be the young king's spirit warning people not to disturb his resting place. Rumors of the mummy's curse quickly spread as those involved in the excavation experienced suspicious incidents. Lord Carnarvon, the sponsor of the excavation, died of pneumonia just months after entering the tomb, fueling chilling stories. The New York Times reported that his death was due to an infected insect bite, but those around him believed it was the consequence of an ancient curse. Writer and spiritualist Arthur Conan Doyle even claimed that an evil spirit might have caused Lord Carnarvon's illness. However, modern medical experts suggest the real cause could have been a mold called Aspergillus, which lingered in the tomb's air for centuries and infected people with weak immune systems. The story sounds dramatic, but looking back, the truth might not be so supernatural. Many others who died after the excavation died from unrelated accidents, house fires, car crashes, even suicides, with no connection to the tomb. Some people who never even stepped inside the tomb were considered victims of the curse simply because they were relatives of the excavation team. Regardless, the true marvel remains the intact tomb of King Tutankhamun. When archaeologists opened the young king's coffin, covered in pure gold, they discovered over 5,000 artifacts made of gold, precious stones, jewelry, statues of gods, and weapons from that era. The golden mask, adorned with gemstones, still retains the solemnity and magnificent beauty of the young king, leaving everyone in awe. Tutankhamun ascended the throne at the age of 9, and although his reign lasted only about 10 years, it marked a glorious golden age for ancient Egypt. His mysterious death at just 19 puzzled many for thousands of years. It wasn't until 2013 that scientists, using 3D imaging technology, discovered that the young king died after being run over by a chariot wheel, causing his sudden death. This revelation opened a new chapter in Egypt's ancient history. Today, the Valley of the Kings is not only a famous tourist destination, but also a UNESCO World Heritage Site protected under strict preservation. King Tutankhamun's tomb remains an invaluable historical and archaeological treasure, reminding us of a glorious era and mysteries yet to be fully uncovered. So, what do you think about the curse and the secrets surrounding this young king? Are these eerie tales just embellished stories, or are there still undiscovered mysteries? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. The 1,900-year-old tomb and the mysterious bronze lion head discs. Hidden deep beneath the dry, rocky soil of central Israel, archaeologists have just unveiled a unique discovery that has sparked waves of curiosity in the international research community. 4 intricately crafted bronze discs engraved with fierce lion heads, found in an ancient tomb dating back approximately 1,900 years. The Israel Antiquities Authority, IAA, confirmed that these artifacts were uncovered at the Khirbet Ibreka archaeological site, once a hub of activity for several ancient communities. The site's name derives from a nearby Ottoman-era Islamic tomb, once a symbol of local power. What surprised archaeologists was not only the rarity of these bronze discs, but also the way they were arranged and their previously unclear function. According to Dr. Eli Haddad, the excavation leader, These bronze discs may have once served as components attached to handles used to lift or lower wooden coffins into the burial pit. Each disc features a vividly embossed lion's head, full of power, a timeless symbol carrying multiple layers of meaning, from strength and authority to protection against evil. The discs have small holes above the main, indicating they were designed to attach to a metal handle system, suggesting they were part of a ceremonial burial mechanism. Even more intriguing is that all 4 discs and the associated handles were neatly stacked at the southern, narrowest end of the tomb. This was no accident or natural shift. It shows deliberate ritual intent, a symbolic act possibly marking the conclusion of a ceremony or a way to preserve the lion's symbolic power in the most sacred part of the burial chamber. Around the excavation area, archaeologists also found 12 glass bottles, likely once containing perfumes or substances used in funeral rites, a large iron nail still bearing traces of wood, possibly the remains of a coffin that had decayed, and several human bone fragments. In contrast, neighboring tombs contained no artifacts, even though some remained intact and undisturbed. This difference further highlights the unique value and special ritual significance of the tomb containing the bronze discs. Additionally, cultural layer evidence indicates this site was inhabited through multiple periods. Roman-era ruins, 63 BCE to 323 CE, include 8 ancient tombs dating from the 1st or 2nd century CE, aligning with the discs' estimated age. Meanwhile, Byzantine-era remains, 324 to 638 CE, reveal agricultural activity, including wine and oil presses, showing the area was a vibrant community center spanning many centuries. Symbolically, the lion image in ancient cultures is not unfamiliar. The oldest known lion head disc dates back to the 5th century BCE, found in Olynthus, Greece. In Israeli archaeology, about 40 similar specimens have been discovered, but most served different functions, commonly as door knockers, where the lion head held a metal ring in its mouth. The 4 discs at Khirbet Ibreka stand apart, as their handles were placed separately and show no sign of lions holding rings, a detail that deepens archaeologists' puzzlement about their true use. A similar discovery occurred at the Roman cemetery in Tel Dor, where bronze lion head discs were also found with handles, placed at the 4 corners of the tomb, seemingly in their original positions after the coffin was lowered. The biggest difference at Khirbet Ibreka is that the discs were not scattered but intentionally gathered and arranged, lending more weight to the theory of ritual or symbolic significance. While lion heads have appeared in many cultures, symbolizing protection, authority, or the strength of the departed spirit, the specific cultural identity of the individual buried here remains unclear. Dr. Haddad suggests this burial style might relate to pagan customs, possibly from local Roman inhabitants or a Hellenistic-influenced group, but there is not yet enough evidence to draw firm conclusions. For archaeologists and symbol researchers, this discovery is not simply about finding 4 rare artifacts, but offers an important clue that opens the door to deeper understanding of burial rites, symbolic systems, and cultural interactions in a land that once stood at the crossroads of ancient empires. These lion head bronze discs, resting peacefully for 19 centuries, are now roaring within the archaeological world, demanding we listen to the story they strive to tell from the far reaches of time. The Royal Tomb of Xi'an and the Curse. Open and die. A 1,400-year-old secret no one dared touch. Xi'an, a name familiar to anyone who loves Chinese history. A land that served as the capital for many dynasties, witnessing countless upheavals throughout thousands of years. But few realize that right beneath the modern concrete and steel of this bustling city lies an underground world of ancient secrets. Among them, one discovery has sent chills through the archaeological community. As skyscrapers rose in downtown Xi'an, deep excavation for foundations unexpectedly revealed a secret buried for more than 1,400 years. Specifically, in 1957, at an ordinary construction site like many others, workers stumbled upon an unusual foundation beneath the ground. Carefully arranged stones and a strange structure began to emerge. Archaeologists were immediately called to the scene. Through careful excavation, they identified the site as a royal tomb from the northern Joseon dynasty era, dating back to the 6th century. The tomb belonged to a young girl named Li Tingshuan, the granddaughter of Empress Yang Lihua. She died at just 9 years old, but her burial rites were unimaginably extravagant, even more magnificent than the funeral of Emperor Wen of Sui at that time in China. Li Tingxuan's stone coffin was no ordinary coffin. It was designed to resemble palace architecture, with an intricately carved vaulted roof showcasing the masterful craftsmanship of the era's artisans. Archaeologists stated, "We have never seen a coffin with such artistic and historical value." Inside the coffin lay a treasure trove, countless pieces of jewelry and precious stones, including a stunning necklace made of gemstones and pearls, so exquisite it is now displayed in the National Museum of China. Not only that, another special treasure was found, an oval-shaped glass bottle, crafted with such advanced techniques that even modern experts are amazed. Clearly, glass-blowing skills over 1,000 years ago had reached heights few could have imagined. But what sent a chill down everyone's spine was the inscription carved on the coffin lid. "Open and die." Could this really be a curse? For over 14 centuries, no grave robber dared approach this site. Could those 4 words have warded off all intruders? Some scholars believe it was merely a psychological deterrent to protect the tomb. Others hold a more heartfelt theory. Empress Yang Lihua, who loved her granddaughter more than anyone, had those words inscribed to guard Li Tingxuan even in the afterlife. A final plea from a broken-hearted grandmother became a curse forever tied to history. We may continue debating the truth behind that mysterious inscription, but one thing is undeniable: the past never stops speaking. The fragments of history, memories buried beneath the earth, will one day rise to remind us that no matter how modern we become, humans remain irresistibly drawn to the secrets of time. What do you think of the phrase, "open and die"? Is it a curse or eternal love? Whatever your answer, I believe the story of this ancient tomb in Xi'an amazes the world not only with its mystery and timeless grandeur, but also reminds us that beneath seemingly still earth lie wonders beyond imagination. The elixir, buried deep in an ancient tomb in Nanjing, China, reveals the bitter secret of its owner's life. Nanjing, a land with 1,000 years of civilization, the capital of 6 major dynasties in Chinese history, is not only the birthplace of many mysterious stories, but also a place that holds archaeological secrets that astonish people. What if, right beneath the ground by the mighty Yangtze River, there lies a grand ancient tomb belonging to a noble of the Eastern Jin dynasty, a place that hides not only treasure, but also a heartbreaking tragedy? The story begins in 1990, when archaeologists excavating in Nanjing discovered the tomb of Wang Bin, a high-ranking official during the Eastern Jin dynasty, dating back more than 1,600 years. The tomb structure was extremely solid, adorned with delicate carvings rivaling royal palace decorations, reflecting the status and power of its owner. But what truly shocked archaeologists was not just this. Inside, they found many precious antiques, from beautifully crafted ceramics and jade to rare imported items, such as a glass cup from the Byzantine Empire and Western Europe. This is vivid evidence that, as early as the 4th century, Eastern Jin nobles had begun establishing trade relations with the West, something previously thought to be common only during the Tang or Song dynasties. However, the strangest part of the story lies in an unexpected detail. Alongside Wang Bin's remains, archaeologists also discovered the mummified body of a young woman, Wang Danhu, his eldest daughter. This was unusual, as according to ancient Chinese customs, adult daughters were typically buried with their husband's family or in their husband's tomb, never with their birth family. So why was Wang Danhu resting here? The answer was partly revealed when the excavation team found a small ceramic vial near her remains. Modern analysis showed it contained Wuzhishan powder, a famous elixir of the Eastern Jin era, believed to open the mind, prolong life, and even lead toward immortality. Wang Bin, the tomb's owner, was said to have trusted this medicine, and unfortunately, his daughter had used it for many years. Wuzhishan powder contained ingredients like quartz, sulfur, stalactite, and notably mercury, an extremely toxic substance that can cause hallucinations and severe health damage when used long-term. Experts concluded that Wang Danhu suffered serious physiological damage from prolonged use of this medicine, losing her reproductive ability at a very young age. In feudal society, being unable to marry meant a woman had no social support and lost the right to be buried with her husband's family, forcing her to remain with her father, a heartbreaking exception. Behind these so-called miracle pills lies the tragedy of a talented and beautiful daughter whose fate was cruelly destroyed by blind faith in the empty promises of her time. Originally used by Zhang Zhongjing to treat fevers, Wuzhishan powder gradually became a toxic concoction with dangerous components like mercury, both enchanting and destroying the body and mind. The tomb of Wang Bin in Wangdanhu is not only a valuable archaeological site, but also a profound warning to us today. The cost of blindly believing in immortality and false promises can be devastating. In those miraculous pills of the past, there was not only hope, but also deep pain and tragedy. Don't you find it strange that a so-called elixir could become the cause of a troubled life and a tomb holding the sorrow of a father and daughter? This story reminds us that sometimes superstition and misplaced trust can destroy a life, leaving painful traces beneath the earth. Shouldn't we be more cautious about the promises of miracle cures in modern life? I think so. What about you? So, together we've explored 11 of the most mysterious and chilling ancient tombs ever discovered around the world. Each tomb is not just a mark of time, but also holds mysterious stories that send shivers down anyone's spine. Which tomb impressed you the most? Or is there something you'd like to learn more about? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so I can keep bringing you more fascinating mysteries from the past. For now, goodbye and see you on the next adventure.